was Cottage Farms Hardy Giant Hibiscus, and every year it wows me, and I'm so happy I have it. These plants live a long, long time, and when they come up, you get dinner plate size flowers. Now, this is a new selection today. Only day at this price, 3 easy payments of $8.33. They are giant. The plants are big. The flowers are even bigger. I have these down at the foot of my driveway. I have a pretty big front yard. As I turn the corner coming up to my house, I can see these in the distance.
I love it.
They're awesome.
Yes, they are awesome. Someone put, when I said I was going to have these in the show today on Facebook, someone posted this long thing about how they are the best plant you can ever grow. They are such a payout. They're so easy. And the reward, I mean, the flowers, you might be thinking these are tropical. Like, I don't live in Hawaii. I can't grow these. Well, hold the phone, because these are these are actually a native North American plant.
And in fact, these particular ones were grown in Michigan.
Grown in Michigan.
So if they can survive Michigan winters,
you're good.
Typically where you live, unless you're living up in Michigan, you can do it too, but like, we can all do this. So here's what's super cool. They're going to come to you as a bare root, and you will get flowers this year.
Yep, yes, you will. Absolutely.
And then every year they just get better.
So they get to be about 4 by 4 is the size, 4 feet tall by 4 feet wide. This year you will get flowers. They won't get that tall. They'll probably get 2.5 feet tall. So that's what you're missing out. Is next year they'll be the size, the full size, but you'll get the full flowers. You will see the impact this year, because they're more of a summer flowering shrub. So when you plant them, they look like this is a bare root, which is exactly what they look like in my garden right now. This is exactly what I have done.
Well, they come up a little bit later,
yes.
Right? So, okay, so this year, obviously, you're going to plant them, you're going to get flowers. I'm going to tell you next year, though. Just remember this. Next year, when you say, what happened to my hibiscus? I guess it's not going to come up this year. Just wait, it will. Hibiscus tend to show up later than other plants. Like right now, my allium's up, that kind of stuff. They'll come up later. But when they come up, they grow like overnight.
Overnight. I mean,
it's like you're watching a time lapse.
Yes,
that's how
it
fast
really
they
is.
seem like they're growing.
Yeah, here in Pennsylvania, it's usually around the 4th of July. So they'll start to stick up out of the ground, and then maybe by the 8th of July, that's like, oh my God, they are here.
Yeah, so just know, next year, they're coming. All right,
so the trick, so what I have done, actually I've done this in my garden, I've cut them back, so they do look like this, sticking up out of the ground. So you might not be able to see on your TV screen, but when you get them home, you'll see a little bit of a discoloration from when they were growing in the ground to where it's a little bit lighter to up here. Yeah, you can see
how that's
yours.
lighter than this?
Yep, where it's a little darker. If you don't see it on yours, just leave about 3 inches poking up out of the ground. And then you dig. This is a nice big container. You can grow your hibiscus in containers. I would get a nice big one like this, a nice 20-inch container. That's the beauty of these, is that they can go there. So we'll dig a nice wide hole, and then we'll backfill it up until about that mark. You know, just don't cover the whole thing. I like to press the soil down, and then we do have a fertilizer for this. It's our bud and flower booster, the general yellow one, but do not feed your hibiscus or your roses until you start to see new growth on your plants.
Yeah, don't fertilize bare roots. Don't fertilize something before there's leaves on it. Okay, so you're gonna make your choice. Do you want the red or do you want the pink and white? The flowers really will be this big. They are amazing. Over 500 have been ordered. You know, Katie, I think these are so great for someone who says, I'm not a great gardener.
Yes.
Because the confidence these give you. Now, even if you're a master gardener, you already know you're like, I want those colors. But they really do get this big. Look, we have a lavender coming up. Look at the red with the lavender in front.
Beautiful.
That looks like a beautifully, like perfectly designed garden. Get the lavender we have coming up, and get this, you can have that look too.
So I love that cranberry crush. This is one of those deep burgundy red flowers in your garden. You can even see some of the green. Maybe you're looking at that green and it was like, what is that? Those are the spent flowers. So it even looks cool once the flowers fall off.
And
honestly, I love hibiscus. So many flowers.
Like, that's the thing, like the amount of flowers is wild.
And there's no deadheading. The other great thing about the hibiscus that we bring to you is the shape. So a lot of people who are not gardeners don't really know how important the shape of the shrub is. All you need to know is it will always grow in that perfect rounded shape. There's no pruning that you need to do. It it comes up out of the ground and knows to grow in that perfect habit. I love the tie-dye. This is so neat how it has that deep red center and then those hyper tie-dye pink and white petals that look like pinwheels.
That are truly the size of dinner plates. Like, they are giant, giant flowers. I have two right at the end of my driveway, and they have given me so much joy over the years and so little hassle. Yes. I have plants that aren't nearly as spectacular that I have to totally baby, and then they're gonna come back. And the hibiscus, like, I just don't do anything to it. I don't know if it's been 10, 11, or 12 years. It's been a long time, probably closer to 12, I can't remember. But whenever it was, I got the Bareroot home. I really didn't know what I was doing so much back then. Stuck it in the ground. That first year, my husband and kids were like, "You grew that?" I remember my oldest, or my youngest, was pretty young then, and I remember her putting her head up to the hibiscus, and they were like bigger than her head. She was like
taller than her. Yes.
Yeah, she's like 3 or 4.
I love that because it really does. I love the confidence because that's what we want to do is we want to give you the confidence, or maybe you want to share your love of gardening with somebody.
Well, they do give you confidence because those first years, like when someone would come to our house, and like now I've got giant flower beds, but I didn't so much then, and I was, you know, I'd grown things before, but I didn't I wasn't so passionate about it back then. And people would come to the house in the summer, and the first thing they would say is, "Oh, those flowers are gorgeous." It kind of really sparked something in me. So I have this amazing affection for the hibiscus plant because back then, if I could do it back then, you can do it now.
Absolutely.
And guess what? I've planted hundreds and hundreds of plants since, like hundreds for real. This is still one of my most reliable and easy performers.
Because even though it is so easy, look at the payout. I mean, you get a plant that looks like you are a master gardener. It looks like maybe something you have to bring inside, but you don't. This is a hardy plant down to -30. These are from Michigan. So these are plants that can take the cold without you doing anything. You don't need to dig them up with nothing.
There's the lavender.
Yes.
Look how pretty. You guys, if you're getting the red especially, get the lavender. They'll look pretty with the pink too, but something about purple and red together, that's a dynamite combination in the garden. And they're different shapes as well. So it's kind of nice to have a big round flower and then kind of the spiky lavender.
And they both love full sun. So that's the only trick that I would tell you with hibiscus is plant them in a spot where they can actually bake in the sun. Even though we say they tolerate cold, they love the heat. So a place that gets 4 to 6 hours at least of sun a day, and they will give you these blooms, and all you need to do is pop them in the ground and make sure that first year you water them, but after that, what do you do for your hibiscus?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I haven't done anything with them for years.
Yes.
I really don't water them at all anymore. Listen, if you live someplace where it's really, really dry and it's a crazy dry summer, give them a little water. But really, I pull that hose all over the yard. I don't really water them very often. 1,200 have been ordered. 3 easy payments of $8.33. Let us know if you want that pink and white that does look tie-dyed like hand-painted art, or if you want that red. They're awesome.
They are awesome.
And the leaves are, you can see the leaves themselves are really, really pretty. They almost have it's like a touch of purple in the green leaves. The newer leaves look more green, and then they kind of turn this like purple color. They're spectacular.
They are, and not all hibiscus have that. So I think the breeding we have done here is that you put that deep purple foliage atop this red flower. Really makes the flower pop.
I think in the last decade or so, the breeding on these have gotten even better.
They have.
And if I didn't love the ones I had so much, I'd consider replacing them. But like now I'm like attached to them. Like I'm never getting rid of them. I'm gonna keep them until they're done. But how many have now been ordered? 1,500 now ordered in this show. 3 easy payments of $8.33. And Katie, they come with a great warranty. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, they do. We are so confident in our plants, and talk about confidence. We want you to be confident. So we guarantee our perennials, which those hibiscus are perennial. They come back year after year for an entire year. And we guarantee all of our annuals for 90 days from the time of shipment. That's practically your whole growing season, Sandra. So you will know if you're dissatisfied, and if you are, please do get in touch with us and we'll make it right.
Don't forget about our mini rose. Over 2,100 ordered already in this show alone. You're the first ones to see it. You want to choose between that. At the top of your screen, you're going to see the candy colors. Right below it, where you see that red rose with the lavender, those are the fruit punch, and I'm going to show you what they look like. This is the candy.